Here's some other things that we've noticed over the years that are big spreaders of harmful organisms. I, Mold is especially if you live in the southern half of the United States, but anywhere where it's hot, anywhere where it's humid, mold is one of those things that it's a parasite. Once it's in your system, it feeds off your body, it starts spreading, it starts growing. And we've noticed a lot of issues with mold. It's one of the hardest things to get rid of, and it's one of the hardest things to test for as well, because people can be exposed to mold in so many different areas. They might go to work and in their work environment. Like I've had a patient one time, we couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. We went to her house, we looked all through her house. She was doing all kinds of, cleansing. She had done a parasite cleanse. She still wasn't getting better. And if you're not getting better, that means something in your external environment or your internal environment you're still being exposed to every day. That's why you have to really look around, and you really have to study everything that you do all day long, and the things that you drink and the things that you eat and the places that you go. And she was working in a church, actually. She was working in a church, and she was ahead of like organizing all the events for the church. I said, you know what, let's just go check out. I just want to go check out your office where you work. And I went over there to her office, and I was in shock. Her ceiling was almost black, covered with mold. It was, one of the worst cases I had ever seen in my entire life. I said, this is what's happening to you right here. You're going to work and you're breathing this stuff. She goes, I have an air purifier. And it was like a little HEPA air purifier that was on the ground. I said, does the church know about this? I ended up meeting with the heads of the church and pulled them aside. And I said, you are killing your employees here. And there was students that were going in there too, because the church was also a school. I said, you have to remediate this. You have to get this mold out of here. You're exposing everybody to this. So that's why if you see any black, or if you see, even stuff in your bathroom, in your air conditioning vents, all that, you want to be real careful about that. And you want to eliminate all those from your external environment and the things from your internal environment, so you can avoid being infested with all these things. And by the way, there's so many there's millions of these harmful organisms. And we don't really know what happens. We know that most people have more than like 50 or 60 different organisms living in them. I'm just throwing that number out, just from what I've been accustomed to. But you could have the mold take charge for a while and then settle down. You can have another one come up for a while and then settle down. And there's not really any research to show you, what happens if you have mold, tapeworm, candida, and something else in the body versus, amoebas and, mycoplasms and weird things like morgellons that are, weird organisms that are just growing these fibers out of your skin. There's so many of these different weird harmful organisms that no one can really say. That's why everybody has different symptoms.